Let's talk about the stuff that people want to really see on YouTube. Everybody seems to show the right way to do stuff. So I'm going to talk to you guys about the half-ass way to do concrete that works. And I think, that's kind of what we go to YouTube for, but it seems like everybody puts really, elaborate video about how to do it right. I mean, if you want all that, go to Wikipedia or go to some, concrete website or something. Anyway, 5 shovels of C-Mix. You can get this stuff. You can actually get this stuff from, there's the places that make the stuff called, the heck is that stuff called? It's for roads. It's called, you put it down, it's base. Okay? You can buy this stuff called base. It's super cheap. You can get a trailer full of that stuff for 25 bucks right now. Maybe 30. I don't know. The last time I bought it was 25 bucks. Okay? I ended up having to get this at Lowe's, which is not the place to buy it. It's super expensive there. But, and it's because I just couldn't get a truck in here. It's where it's at. It's just too hard to mess around and I was going to get, one of those trailers, mixers, it's just too hard to get in here. It's trying to back that thing up. I ended up knocking over my pole. So it's just easier to mix it by hand. And then if you buy the ready mix it's golden. I mean, you're going to spend almost, 30, 40 bucks a yard more just because you can't count shovels. That's ridiculous. So, 5 shovels of C-Mix, 1 shovel of Portland cement. That's the way I've been making cement concrete forever. And let's talk about things that you can do that you can get away with. Let's just talk about one of the things I saw once is a guy had a leaky basement in his bottom floor in his house. So what do? It was leaking really bad. The right way to be to dig it out on the other side, reseal it or whatever the heck, I don't even know. All right, when you got an old house that's built in the 30s, got a leaky basement, what you did is you just took cement. I don't know if you use plastic or Portland, I don't think it really matters. And you just started taking shovels of it and throwing it at the wall while it was wet. Came back a couple days later and everything was dry. So those are things you can do. One of the things I've done before, and one of the things everybody always goes, well, you got to put the correct amount of water in it. Well, if you water it down too much, it's just going to be one thing. It's going to be a little bit harder when you get to the finishing. You're going to have to waiting for that water to come off of it. If you're trying to do finish work, you might have a little bit rougher surface on it. It might not come out quite. Your broom might, be a little bit lumpy looking. But if you're not really worried about that stuff, when I get the truck, a lot of times myself doing my own work for myself, I'll have them put a bunch of water in it so I can work with it easier, especially if I don't have a lot of guys to help me finish it. So that's one of the little tricks you can do. And what happens is when you're walking in it with your rubber boots, you'll know it's just so much easier to walk around in versus the super stiff stuff. Trying to move it is really hard. So will it dry? Yeah, it'll still dry. Will it last as long? No. You're going to lose something for it. You're going to have, if you're not worried about it, if you're not worried if it lasts you outlasts your lifetime, I'm not myself. What do I need to fix my house for the next generation? It's just stupid. People do stuff. I want it to last forever. And, it's like, who cares sometimes? You're just trying to make something work for you. And you half the time, then the next guy who comes into onto the earth rips out what you put in the ground anyway. So why the heck are you making it forever? That's just mentality is crazy. So another thing I've done that works, okay, so you can put too much water in it, and I've had that still dry. And this is the nice looking stiff mix that I have in here, because the last wheelbarrow was kind of stiff, but the ones underneath were pretty slurry. And do I really care, especially on a footing? No, not at all. It's going to be just fine. Am I looking for it to be exactly 2800 psi? No. I'm not going to have an inspector out here looking at it. It's not something for that. So, but those things, yeah, you got to do those things right. But these things here, you may not need to. So one of the things you can do is you can mix it up in a wheelbarrow. So a lot of guys go, well, I'll just buy a mixer. Well, by the time you buy a mixer, you might as well call the truck out to deliver it. Because by the time you bought the mixer, the extra time it's spent, and everything else, and if you're in a certain circumstance like I am, You know, I only got a little bit to mix up, a couple of these posts to do. So mixing it a wheelbarrow works just fine. And you know, the thing is, are you going to get it quite as a consistent mix as you are in a mixer? No, probably not. But will it work? Yep, it'll work. It dries. I've even done, one time I had concrete where I didn't have enough cement. You know, I only had, you know, so 1 yard, typically you'll have 5 bags, you know, at least. You know, that's a 5-sack mix. You know what I'm talking about? 5 sacks. That's what they're saying. So you can have, you know, a 4-sack mix. I had a 4-sack mix once, and you know what? It wasn't the hardest concrete ever, but man, it dried, and you know what? It was good to walk on, and it was there for over 20 years. So it can be done. Not recommending any of these things you guys do. I'm just saying this is stuff that, you know, has been done and it's worked. Okay, it doesn't mean it's the right way. The right way, like I said, go to Wikipedia, start reading stuff, you know, spend hours and hours of your life doing that. This is the half-ass way to do concrete that works. All right, so this is some of the stuff that I've done over the years just to half-ass something up where I need it done, you know, and it's fine. Because like this footing, is it going to care whether I got 2,800 psi or I got 3,300 psi or whatever? No, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to make much difference at all. This post is going to be here for my lifetime at least. Why do I need to worry about the next lifetime? I'm not. He might rip it out of the ground. Why would I do all his work for him and then have him rip it out of the ground? That's just stupid. So anyway, let me think. See if I can think of anything else. Oh yeah, another thing that irks me on YouTube and stuff I see is guys saying, man, you got to mix up your concrete for your post holes. So, you know, you got these metal posts or wooden posts in the ground, and they go, man, you got to mix it up really good and you know, all that, you know. Nah, you know what? I've done this so many times and never had it fall apart. I don't even know how many different jobs I've done, and I've put just in certain things where it doesn't matter, where I know that there's no way somebody's going to knock the damn thing over, okay, or a fence post. I never had a problem with a fence post being done like this. Is I actually just poured this concrete cement in the hole dry, okay, just throw it right in the hole dry. Just take your bag of cement, just throw it in the hole, and then pour water all over it, and take your digging bar and just stab it a bunch of times, 10 times or whatever. Get it really extra wet, you know, so maybe even a puddle of water's on top of it. It doesn't matter. That water soaks all the way through, and guess what? I've never been able to get those posts back out. You know, yeah, is it 2,800 psi? No, it's not. It's going to be just fine for what the job is. So a lot of guys go overkill on that stuff. I've seen it all over there, and you know, this stuff works. I've done it, but I'm not going to tell you to do it. I'm just saying, if you're wondering if it works, I've done it. It works for me. And if you want to try it, that's all at your own risk. Y'all just have a good day. Talk to you next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.